disappeared. Now, over the years, they had money thrown at them by a lot of record labels. They actually got together, they put out 2 more albums. They got the original lineup together, put out 2 more albums. Both of them were fucking shocking. And when I say shocking, I mean shocking bad. Like, fucking dire. Absolute just exercises in money making. They are disgraceful. Like, the band don't like talking about them. That's how bad they are. Right?
Really?
They're fucking terrible. They're on Spotify. You can go listen to them. They're called, the first one's called Alpha Omega, and the second one's called Near Death Experience. Right? Now, what you need to understand is that John, the singer, and Harley, the bassist / songwriter, both of them were heavily involved in the Hare Krishna scene. Right? They were Hare Krishnas.
Jesus.
I know. So they were...
You're blowing my mind about
I know,
Cro-Mags.
it's fucking mad. That's even the second album has like the Krugava, or whatever you call it, like one of the big Hare Krishna gods on the front of it and all. They were very, very heavily involved in the Hare Krishna scene.
It does look like, I won't say a bit of crack because that's a bit demeaning, but it does look like, I mean, if you were stuck.
I think they used it as, because they came from the streets, they were kind of scumbags and homeless and drug dealers. The Hare Krishna temple was a place where all the homeless people used to go and get fed. Right? So
That's
you get
cool.
free food and you could stay there sometimes as well.
Like the chance as well.
Exactly. And so I think they got involved in this because they were spending so much time there getting fed and clothed and washed. It just became a natural part of their life. Now, these days, I don't think Harley is still involved in Hare Krishna. John definitely is. John is 100% still involved in the Hare Krishna scene. But turn to Shy.
They're one crowd I don't give any shit to.
The Harrys?
No.
Fucking killer food, lad.
Killer food, and they seem grand.
They just like them little jingly bells and dancing around outside Easton's
I
every now
felt
and
bad
again.
for him in the first GTA game.
Yeah, okay, mowed them over.
Yeah.
Getting points. 10 points to Hare Krishna or something. Yeah, that was about my level of experience with it.
Because whenever I'm walking by and doing the chants, I'm like, that does make me feel better.
Yeah.
Hare, hare,
They're so happy though. They're
Too
all
happy.
mad into it.
Yeah,
It's
but
fake
too
as
happy.
fuck.
Yeah, maybe.
I knew a Hare Krishna fella who was a landlord. A dirty, horrible landlord as well. Which doesn't really fit with what they're meant to be doing. So 2001, they done a reunion. It lasted like a month before the lads started killing each other. So there's currently 2 different versions. There is 2 different versions of the Cro-Mags. So this year, Harley Flanagan filed like a patent suit, and he won the rights to the name Cro-Mags, right? So he is touring as Cro-Mags now, and John Joseph has another band, and they have to call themselves Cro-Mags JM. And the reason they call themselves JM is because John's version of the band has 2 original members. It has John and it has Mackie. Right? Mackie's the original drummer. People will know Mackie. Mackie was in the Fun Loving Criminals. He was the drummer for the Fun Loving Criminals for some reason. After Cro-Mags, he went and done a lot. He joined Bad Brains, he joined Madball, he joined a lot of kind of hardcore bands. I don't know how it happened, but he ended up in the Fun Loving fucking Criminals for a while. For the first album anyway. So John has at least another member, but they are not the quote-unquote official Cro-Mags. Either is fucking Harley's because it's only him and a load of blow-ins. So like the original lineup, what people want from Cro-Mags hasn't really been replicated. It's a fucking disgrace. When was it? Was it about fucking 5 years ago? Something happened. This was all over the news. This is insane. Something happened where John and Harley were put in the same room. It was in Webster Hall in New York. There was a big punk rock gig, big hardcore gig, and sick of it all these bands were playing. And someone fucked up and put Harley and John in the same room. Now, these lads can't look at each other. They can't look at each other. And there was 4
I'm already starting to see my percentage of these lads getting back together is hitting a low.
After they put them together in a room, I think there was 4 people stabbed. Harley pulled out a big joint knife, started stabbing people. He stabbed 4 people.
I heard about that. Even I heard about that.
Yeah. He ended up getting stabbed in the leg, having to get 30 stitches up his thigh. He was wheeled out of there in a full Hannibal Lecter cage with a mask on him because like he was attacking paramedics. Now Harley Flanagan is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tutor. He's like what they call a professor of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He teaches people Jiu-Jitsu. He's a proper double-hard martial artist. John Joseph is 50-odd years of age and does like 2 Ironman competitions a month. He's like fit as fuck. He's one of these big kind of vegan warrior, plant-fueled fucking thing. Written a lot of books and all this malarkey. So they're dealing with 2 lads like top of their physical game. And they put them in a room and there was lads just getting stabbed. It was like Wile E. Coyote like fucking a big ball of smoke, and there was lads fucking murking each other. So it's never going to happen. You are not going to see a Cro-Mags reunion, and it makes me incredibly sad. Sadder than almost any other band on my list. But they are one of my favourite groups. That album was one of my favourite albums of all time. I had to pull it out of the bag. I know it's a little bit cheating because there's 2 versions of it doing the rounds, but it's not the actual band. If
you're telling me that's one that you want to see, and it's the original lineup, like what people want,
you're not going to see the original lineup. There's too much bad blood between anybody. Right, what's your next one?
Fugazi,
Fugazi
or Fugazi, whoever you want to pronounce it. The Americans pronounce it Fugazi.
They're probably wrong. It's Fugazi.
It is Fugazi, isn't it? Yeah. I picked Waiting Room because it's it's an obvious choice for Fugazi.
It's also, let's be honest, it's their best song.
So good.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're post-hardcore / alternative rock crossover. That's a fucking terrible label to give them already off the bat, but listen, it's what we do sometimes. Talk to listeners.
Fugazi tended to be more of a movement than a band.
Yeah, because this is the mad thing about them. They did sell millions of albums as an independent band
through their own fucking label.
Yeah, well, that's incredible. But that's Ian MacKaye. That's his style. It always has been, hasn't it?
I always wanted to keep control and keep it tight.
I like that.
Yeah,
got people in to help them, like print the label or print the album covers and all that stuff.
All the lads in the bands would come in and help them package it and everything.
Yeah.
It was very much kind of a.
I know that was Minor Threat, but was that Fugazi as well? Fugazi going to switch it around just for all of our listeners across the pond.
Same label, everything.
They are so influential now on the grunge scene and alternative rock in the 90s. Really, Jesus Christ, everyone.
They were one of the first kind of minimalist bands. So when they would play live, the tickets had to be super cheap.
$5. Wasn't it $5 a go? And I think I read that they had envelopes with $5 in them, so that because they hated slam dancing, hardcore dancing. So if someone's getting kicked out, which they would want people, they'd tell people getting kicked out, they'd hand them the envelope.
Yeah,
their money back. But we told you not to fucking do that.
They also had a thing about lights. You could only have white lights. No flashing lights, no strobes, no effects, no colours. Just get a big white spotlight, point it at the stage, and that's us. No fucking effects, no nothing.
Yeah.
Just raw, straight to it.
That sounds about right.
They also let everybody in the band kind of had a shot at singing as well. It wasn't just Ian.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
They played... I'm trying to think if they played Dublin. I'm sure they did play Dublin. Their most famous Irish gig was in Kilkenny. They played like the town hall in Kilkenny, and that's one of those gigs. If you're from down there and you went to it, super famous.
And if you didn't, you'd say you did.
It's one of those, exactly. Probably 100 people at it and 700 people saying they were there. But this is one of the big famous Irish gigs that are talked about in hushed tones from corners. Done a bunch of albums. 13 Songs is probably the most famous one.
Yeah.
Waiting Room was obviously the most famous song.
It's the bass line.
It's ridiculously good. They do have other good songs, like Bulldog Front and all that are great songs. There's some good stuff. Some of it's too artsy for me. I'm too simple for a lot of that music. I still to this day, I know it's the most obvious choice, but Waiting Room it's their best song. It's popular for a reason. It's fucking insane. It's so good. What else? Like
MacKaye is actually one of the ones that says they're not broken up. They're on hiatus.
Yeah.
The rhythm section, like the bass and the drummer have said, yeah, we would think about doing it again, but we're not going to go up there and do all songs.
Yeah, they want to.
It would have to be because that's them as well.
Yeah.
They're not going to. There's so many bands in this that they are very true to their roots and nature of. You can't imagine anything involving these lads being for money or nostalgia.
I think two of the lads have another band going. They were just played here there a while ago. For the life of me, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me that.
I think it was last week they played. They are doing the rounds at the moment with another little group just to kind of keep themselves occupied and happy.
And it's mad because they apparently, according to all of them, had been offered mental money by Coachella, just to get that name. Coachella are going to give them money, mad money. But that's not them.
That's not them.
Absolutely don't give a fuck.
What's even more fucked up is that they did play. Almost everyone there wouldn't know who they are.
But that's what happens with Coachella all the time.
Of course,
they got Stone Roses back.
Yeah. No one gives.
Can you imagine all those? What is a Stone? What? Yeah, who's this? And it's America as well.
Exactly.
So they're like, sorry,
lost on them. No,
I do like that a little bit about Coachella, although it is like they do just go for, what's your situation? How much money do you need? It's kind of a bit weird.
There's one or two kind of hardcore festivals in the States that are like that, and every year they have to coax some band out of retirement. Like, it's the gig.
Yeah.
You know, they get Gorilla Biscuits back together or whatever. You know, one of them old bands that are kind of famous, you know, one of those legendary bands.
Yeah.
And they just, I don't know how much money they have to throw at them because it's a hardcore festival. So it's probably held in a fucking park and lots somewhere.
Yeah. But so percentages for getting back together, I'd put that at 30 to 40%.
Yeah. That's more than you gave Talking Heads.
Oh, but Talking Heads definitely not.
Are you going backwards? Like one is definitely.
No, I said there's a 30% chance you'll see them doing a gig, but not for Coachella and not for fucking.
No, they'll do that on their own time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, this is always asked of them, and they always say never, which is the usual thing.
There was a big thing with Nike. Nike ripped them off a couple of years ago.
Something about that.
They done Nike skateboards or Nike Street or something like that, and they replicated the cover of. It wasn't Fugazi, it was Minor Threat. They ripped off the cover. Were sitting on the front steps with the head down.
That's not a band you do that to.
Yeah,
that is not a band you do that to. I mean, I don't know what they do with Ghost. They do anything with Court. Doesn't seem like them either.
No.
Yeah,
they just let it be known. They just let it be known. This is not cool for a joint multinational corporation.
I can't remember if they did anything like a little get together since they broke up. I don't think they did.
I don't think they did. And if they did, it would have been off their own back. Like I said, nobody's going to pay them. He's being very adamant about.
Yeah.
Let it be known we can't be bought.
It doesn't matter to him. It really doesn't. No. You can say that about Ian MacKaye. It really doesn't.
Care.
And I don't know what the other lads, but they probably wouldn't mind one little bump.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they could end up doing the tour. Who knows?
Could be wrong about that. Who is your next one?
My next one is Sonic Youth. And I picked a cool thing, just as a cool little song.
Yeah.
That's all. Sonic Youth's a fucking weird one. Coined it in the same vein as Fugazi. They definitely have that feel to them. They're like an arty, punky, noisy type of
very
thing
arty,
going on.
Very punky, very noisy. Apparently very noisy.
Yeah.
The gigs were apparently definite.
Yeah, outrageous. So they formed in 1981. And Thurston Moore's singer, Kim Gordon, Lee Ronaldo, and Steve Shelley were like the original crew. Signed on SST Records. Go back to Fugazi there. So it's apparently Thurston and Kim were married like for years.
Yeah.
Right. So apparently in 2011.
That's a fucking spanner in the works for bands getting back together. We'll touch on that soon.
That's a long time. 1981. I don't know whether they were together in 1981, but I think it happened fairly early on. So 1981 get together. 2011 they put the band on hiatus. Because Thurston and Kim were breaking up. Now, I don't know whether they got divorced or whether they just separated. I don't know what the crack is. So
you got to give it to Fleetwood Mac for that kind of shit. Stay together. Not only stay together and play together, write songs about each other and get them to sing them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Brutality.
Oh.
Yeah. Dirt.
Oh. That's how much Fleetwood Mac want money.
Yeah, that's how hungry they are.
They are a hungry bunch
She must, instead of burning sage, that bitch is burning fucking $100 notes, like, you know what I mean? Fucking white witch this.
So Fleetwood Mac will never make it because they're obviously going to keep getting back together.
Of course, forever.
But yeah.
2011, the band goes on hiatus and everybody's hemming and hawing about it. For years it goes on. Every time they're asked about it, they're like, no, we're just taking a break. But Kim put a book out in 2015 where she confirmed the band broke up. It's just done.
Yeah, because a lot of them never said we've broken up.
Yeah, we just disappeared.
Because that'll happen. A hiatus will turn into, our little Christmas break will turn into a year off, turn into a hiatus, turn into someone going, but no one's ever saying, oh, by the way, I'm never getting back into this.
Yeah, they just leave it. Just walk away. But that's pretty much all there is to it. The kind of power couple in the band broke up, and that changed the dynamic. Nobody wanted to be around each other. They weren't getting on.
Yeah.
And they couldn't put it behind them. I think they wanted to keep playing, but the two of them couldn't be around together. So they just decided, fuck it, let's just knock this on the head. And it was only confirmed when Kim wrote a book and she used the words broken up a couple of times in the book, and that was the only way there was an official statement put up about it, and that was it. But Sonic Youth, Cool Things. Cool is a great little song. It is. It's a savage little song.
Sonic Youth are a strange band. They've so many different types of songs that when I try and get into them, I get apart from that album, what's the album with the like kind of cartoony looking
Yeah.
polka dot color? What not the little dot color thing?
The
Newspaper.
thing,
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
They are a hard band for me to get into because
I think you have to have been in art college